guess what I'd like to start with is the idea that if you look at the difference between a publisher and a marketer, there really is no difference today. I think the biggest change has come from a couple things. First of all, technology, right? Anybody can be a publisher today. And I think we're seeing that, especially in the States. We're seeing a number of big and small brands start to launch their own media properties. The difference between, I mean, really, there's only one difference. If you look at a brand, a non-media brand, and a media brand today, is how they get the money. How do they get money for the content that they create? If you look at a media company, traditionally a media company creates content in order to sell sponsorships, advertising of some kind, or paid content sales. If you look at a non-media company, they create a lot of content, information, publications, but they do it not to sell and make money directly off of that content. They do it in order to sell more products and services. So that's why, especially over here in North America, we are seeing more and more money. In the study we just did, 26% of the overall budget goes to content marketing initiatives. That's a huge shift. If you look at more and more of the traditional ad budget, marketing budget is then being chopped off, and that's going to marketing departments that are starting to look a lot more like publishing departments. We have, if you look at big brands over here like Microsoft and Cisco and John Deere, they are hiring journalists now. And the marketers that the marketing specialists they are hiring, they're making them all take a writing test. They're making sure that they all understand how to tell a good story. And I think what it comes down to is that if we don't create interesting information, and however we do it, our customers aren't going to pay attention to us. So either from a lead generation standpoint or a loyalty standpoint, if we don't have good content today, we're going to be missing out on the opportunities wherever you live. And I'm not just talking about social media and online, I'm talking about print and in person as well. To survive, companies need to act and think more like publishers today. And it's not that advertising is going away. I don't believe that at all. But I believe advertising is more of a luxury than it was in the past, not as much of a necessity. Now content and information and storytelling is a pure necessity, even if you're looking at the B2B buying cycle where you need content at every portion of the buying stage in order to make sure that at the end of the day, your prospect or customer is going to buy from you. Well, I think effectiveness starts off with what you're trying to measure. And that's the first mistake that we see most brands over here making, is that they want to do something like, oh, we want to do a blog, or we want to do a custom magazine. And the answer to that is always why. Why do you want to do it? Why do you want to create this content? What marketing challenge is it going to solve for you? So once you figure that out, whether it's lead generation, customer retention, cross-selling, once you decide that, then you can measure the effectiveness. And especially with online, right? We can measure everything. Everything can be measured. But you don't want to just take all those measurements and then throw them up to your chief marketing officer or your financial officer and say, look at all the stuff it's doing. We actually want to measure everything we can, but we don't want to show all that. We only want to show the things that we're really, really trying to measure and trying to, I guess the easiest way to put it is, don't create a new measurement system. If you and your senior team measure marketing in a certain way, I would not try to create something brand new when you measure the effectiveness of it. So let's look at something easy like a digital magazine. If somebody is reading a digital magazine and your goal is cross-selling, well, the measurements like how long they read the magazine for, which on average could be 10, 15 minutes, that's fantastic, right? But at the end of the day, is that the goal? If the goal is cross-selling, what we want to figure out is what links are they clicking on, where are they going, and how's our conversion rates? That can be measured And that's your objective. If your goal is, this is all about customer retention, and we want to keep our customers engaging with our messages and position us as a trusted leader, then that time on the magazine, time on your content, the amount of times they share that content, that could all be measured. And you could say, yes, it's working because of those things. So anything can be measured today, and even in print it can be measured if you're doing the right surveys. And you just got to make sure you're measuring the right thing.